And Shannon's been up to no good. In fact, you were telling me that you shot a pilot over the weekend.
Yes.
Wow, with what kind of gun? I did the shot a pilot pun, Jake. That's a comedy crime. That's a comedy crime.
Boy.
No, please, officer. Hi, everybody. Welcome to AITA Pod. I'm Danny Vega, joined by my massive co-host.
Vast.
Can't really call a woman massive. That's not.
That's okay.
Massively talented.
There we go.
There we go.
Saved it. So
Me,
big.
I just have the density of a sun. Hey, everybody, it's Jake Davis.
Yeah, I now, like, anytime I meet a tall guy, I'm like, I'm suspicious.
Are you one
What?
Jake?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. Like, when I went to that Big Bear trip with my friends, one of the guys was allegedly 6'5", and I was like, I don't know. I think Jake's bigger than you. I hang out
He
with-
is. He's 6'6".
Oh, are you?
I
6'6"?
round down, yeah, because I've talked about it on the pod before, but
Yeah.
I'm just barely 6'6", and for whatever reason, people do what you did, where they will cross compare me to their tall friend and be like,
Yeah.
I don't know about that, man. My friend's 6'6", and I don't think you're 6'6".
Yeah, people
So
do that about me too.
I just round down.
They always think I'm 5'11".
I always think you're 6 even, honestly, from where I'm standing, which I think is like, you know,
From where I'm standing, from the sky.
I'm all about empowering tall women. I think it's great. Need more representation.
It's an insight, right? Because you were mocked. That's why you have comedian energy. Why you are a comedian? Because you were sort of, it was kind of awkward back there. How tall you were, right?
Yeah.
You were picked on.
Yes, definitely. I was always tall. So
Did they have any insults that they like? There's Slinky
well,
Shannon.
Listen to what I was. So there was 2 Shannons in my high school, and this is what they called me. Tall Shannon.
Oh, how dare they?
I'm like, the lack
Nothing.
of creativity is what insults me more.
Did she get just Shannon plain?
She was just Shannon.
Oh, that's
no,
bullshit.
you gotta give
know.
her a
Isn't that
signifier
rude?
too. Like short Shannon.
But
Shannon's
she
fun
wasn't
to say.
short though.
Oh, okay.
She was like 5'7".
Yeah, that's not short. Thank you.
No.
Average Shannon actually hurts so much worse
That's
than tall
true.
Shannon.
That's true.
No, she just got to be the OG one.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I
No,
got-
it's okay.
It's tough.
I got made fun
It
of
was
for a
annoying.
lot of stuff, but height was this weirdly defensive topic for a lot of younger dudes, especially middle school. And the
course.
go-to was
Still
always
is. Look at him.
I'm not defensive, you fucking nasty freaks.
I don't think Danny's
You
short
fucking
either.
freaks
Anyway,
in nature.
the one thing that I remember guys would do a lot, they would get like out of nowhere, unprompted. They'd just be like, yeah. Well, you've already done all your growing. You're out of growing. You're not going to grow anymore. And I haven't even started growing yet. So I'm going to be so much taller. I didn't start
my
this at all. I'm just
God.
sitting there
Yeah.
trying to
You're
fight
like
for my
trying
life
to
in math.
exist.
You're like, please, God, do not make me taller. There are doors I cannot fit.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I could have
Yeah.
topped out in 6th grade. I would have been set.
That was my theory. I actually thought it might go that way. That there's that period where you don't know if you could get bigger or not. I actually think 33. I don't know. I might have a few inches left to gain,
Sudden
ladies.
spurt.
You might. My
We're
feet
holding
were
out.
growing recently.
What?
Keeping track of
I
that?
think my
Your
feet
feet's
have
getting
grown.
bigger?
Yeah, I'm like all of a sudden
Oh,
a size
no.
11 these days.
Somebody's listening to this on a plane and seizing up.
Yeah.
Speaking of planes, I'm really excited. I got a lot of kind of stand-up shows built up here. Just going to run through these super fast. Friday, June 30th, Henderson, Nevada. That's my good friend Tori Piskin, my redhead friend. You can see her on my Instagram. She's in some videos.
Oh yeah.
July 1st, Superior, Arizona with Tori. August 10th, Woodinville, Washington.
Okay.
August 11th, Salem, Oregon. Not where the witch trials happened. That was Salem, Mass.
Oh, that was Salem, Mass. Not to
I
be
didn't know the difference
confused.
until I was out of college by the time I realized that.
I've never even heard of Salem, Oregon.
Yeah,
It's popular?
It's popular. All the best comedians play Salem.
Yeah, that's true.
it's
It is high demand.
it's kind of like playing what's it called? That one. I'll remember it like 15 minutes from now.
Your Jake has been disconnected. And we're really excited about this, guys. It took only a little bit of bullying, but I got the gang to go on tour with me. That's right. Announcing AITA Pod goes to Arizona, baby. And we're not just going to Phoenix. I know that's what you thought. July 14th, we'll be in Phoenix. July 15th, we'll be in Tucson. I'm excited. I guess I have done maybe 2 shows, maybe 3 shows ever in Tucson. So that's going to be a new one for me. Very excited.
Never in my life.
I haven't been back to Arizona since like 2015, I want to say. 2015, 2016.
Oh, like even Phoenix?
Yeah, no, I haven't been in years.
Well, my parents just moved from there, so I always had an excuse to get back there, which I thought was nice that like, you know, my college town I was still able to like have a relationship with, I guess. But I haven't been to Tucson in forever because my 2 best friends went to U of A.
Yeah.
So I used to go down there a lot.
There we go.
But Tucson is a little silly town.
It's a silly town. We'll drive through Casa Grande. Maybe I'll take you. I'll take you guys to Ricardo's. You gotta go to Ricardo's.
What is that? A Mexican spot?
It's like the local Mexican spot. It's technically not my
flavor.
favorite, but it's like the Casa Grande.
You have to go.
So, but yeah, guys, definitely save these dates. Please reach out to me on Instagram because sometimes the Facebook events are glitchy or whatever. We'll obviously be posting on the AITA Pod Instagram. Shouts to Shannon for killing it. Put it in your calendar. Don't miss it. I don't want any. We got a lot of this. Taylor Swift is playing, so I can't go to the LA show.
No.
Give me a break.
You made a mistake.
Actually, I got to shout out to the Taylor. You know, I've been really humbled by her. I don't know. I consider us colleagues. The delusion. No, but I don't know if you guys know, but she actually does 2 new songs per show, choreographed and everything.
What?
And her total performance length, just her, not the concert, just her, 3 hours.
Yeah, no, she's
That's
a force
work.
of nature.
How is she not
fucking
tired?
work.
We're only 10 minutes in and I am like snoozing.
Well, that's because you don't like me, but I'm blown away by that.
I don't get people who hate on Taylor Swift, even if you don't like her music. At this point, I just have such a deep respect for the work ethic.
You can't not.
And like, yeah, you know, like, she's actually from a wealthy family. So what? She's putting in the work. Like, she's doing a lot with what she's got.
I thought she was a self-made gal, so when I found out she came from like record money or whatever, fine. But like, there's nothing to say to
She
3
maxed
hour
out the
concerts.
game.
There's nothing to say.
Yeah.
Kills it.
That's fucking work.
Have you guys heard her intros to her songs though?
Yeah.
They're so funny.
I know.
What? No, what?
I have to show you another point, but she just says like dorky stuff before the song.
And it's like she does it with this energy of just like, you're never gonna fucking believe what this is leading into. And it's really like, easy to know where she's going almost immediately, but it'll also be like very random setups at the same time. Like,
yeah, like, did a guy ever walk in and you just knew he was trouble?
Oh god.
Yeah, stuff like that. And like, but it's that.
But love you, Taylor.
Don't ruin my crush. Don't ruin my
football
crush.
stadium.
Do you have a crush on her?
Oh my god, forever.
I've always
She's so
wondered if
beautiful and
guys were
talented.
into her because I don't think she has a lot of sex appeal.
Jesus.
Does she? Okay. I was just
ridiculously
curious
sexy.
if you
I'm opposite Danny here, but not in a way where I don't get it. I understand why you would be, but like super duper slender has never really been my
she's kind of curvy now though.
Oh, okay. Well,
she's got a little bit of a butt.
When I was younger, like probably like 18, 21, I was like, oh wow, she's really attractive. Now it's just like, oh, that's a very pretty person objectively, but I'm not like.
I think where Taylor and I would
always
struggle in our relationship is I would kind of be like, hey, Tay, you know, how are you, babe? I bring her some flowers, make her breakfast. And then I'd be like, can you stop with that folklore shit and make bangers, baby? She's like, I'm expressing my art.
Yeah, I guess the bangers are a little bit more fun.
I
but
miss the bangers.
The folklore's great too.
Hey, I think she's connecting with an audience, and that's all that matters.
It makes you feel something. I love her music.
I actually knew you were trouble when you walked in, Shannon.
True.
And Shannon's been up to no good. In fact, we were telling me that you shot a pilot over the weekend.
Yes.
Wow, with what kind of gun? I did the shot a pilot pun, Jake. That's a comedy crime. That's a comedy crime.
Boy.
No, please, officer.
I shot the pilot from The Situation.
There there we go. We made it a good joke almost. Yeah. So you shot a pilot, huh?
Yeah. So it's technically called a pilot presentation.
Oh.
Which is, there's
Hollywood.
a little bit of a difference between when you can call it a pilot when it's already picked up by a network. But a pilot presentation is when it's like a production company is making it and then they want to pitch it.
Oh, well, how dare you front and act like you shot a pilot?
I should have said shot a pilot presentation.
This is another, I learned this lesson. Hollywood is so particular about their little like qualifiers.
Yeah.
Like when I first got to town, I got invited to come to this writer's room workshop where I was told it's called a table read, which made sense to me because we're sitting around a table and we're reading.
Yeah.
So I just thought that's what it called. And, saw some other people who were at it and I was getting a, sandwich or whatever. I was like, oh, I'll see you at the table read. And they all had this like snicker to themselves. Just like later on, they're like, we all thought you were kind of a douchebag because you're trying to elevate this into being a table read. This is a writer's workshop. And it was my first lesson of like, you guys are all like half people.
Yeah.
Like, it's impossible to actually connect with you.
You guys are the douchebags in that scenario.
Reverse card.
Or maybe just give the rookie a heads up of like, I know what you mean.
Man.
It's not a big deal, but just like call it this moving forward. And it's like, oh yeah, the sacred fraternity of people desperately trying to survive in entertainment.
So annoying. My manager will be like, it's a pilot presentation. You do know the difference, right?
Oh God. You do know you work for me, right?
Yes.
Wow.
So you shot a
We can't say
pilot.
that either.
You said it was a pool scene.
Yeah, so my character is like this bitchy boss who is just like...
So no acting.
Exactly. But no, it was really fun. And so I have this scene at the end where I get pushed into the pool. And so it was pretty much like one and done. Like you have to get it right.
Gotta get it right. Fall.
Yeah. And because, it's like a lower budget thing. So it's not like they had like a second outfit for me or they could like dry my hair really quick or whatever. And so we had to do a little bit of movie magic. But the one time, like it really was like the other shot, we like fake pushed me because it was tighter, but there was going to be one shot where I was like legitimately falling in. And actually, according to SAG, you can't push someone into a pool. It's like not allowed. So we did have to do a little bit of movie magic of like he was pushing me and then I had to trip into the pool.
I can kind of understand that. That's one of those sneaky things that you don't think can end really badly, but like you slip on the push and you push somebody too hard and you slip a disc or you hit
whack
your elbow
head on the other side or
is that SAG's kind of angle?
I guess so. I'm not
okay.
really sure. I'm sure like something happened one time. And
They live by better safe than sorry.
The tyranny of
the
SAG.
fact you make extra money when you're just in a shot with a fog machine going, which sounds ridiculous until you're in that room for 6 hours and you're just breathing in the fog machine air the whole time.
So did you nail it?
So the line in the scene was I was introducing this character named Ginny Ma. And
That sounds like Jacques Davy's ex-wife.
Jenny Do not get me started on Jenny. She broke my heart. No, he's Italian.
No, I think that was French.
She broke my heart.
Jacques Davy is like European-ish, but he's from Des Moines.
He's a liar. Let's be real.
And so the line in the script was Ginny Ma everybody, but I was changing it to Ginny Ma everyone because I just felt that
feels better.
It felt better to me.
Yeah.
But during the one scene that was the push-in scene, I was like so nervous I was going to get it wrong. And I ended up saying, Ginny Ma, every bun.
Oh, no.
Every bun?
Yeah, like everybody and everyone combined.
Oh, no.
But luckily there was like a few like words after that. And then he like pushed me in so they can cut it or they can like
fix it in post maybe.
Yeah, like if they wanted to use that one, they could like make my line from another take and put everyone. But I was like, of course.
Every bun.
Every bun.
Everybody. Yeah.
Oh, God.
And there was also like a ton of extras and I was making a speech and then the main character like pushes me in. And so it was like a double layer of, or like a triple layer of nerves because I had the nerves of just acting in general. B, the nerves of like having to nail it. And then C, it was like public speaking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, like I don't normally public speak in front of all these extras.
50 people are your scene
Hard to
partner.
speak.
That's a bit much.
Yeah. And the whole crew. But it went really well and everyone told me I killed it.
Of course you did.
Wow.
And the pool was really warm, thank God.
Oh, yeah. That'd be
Yes,
rough.
because it was cold.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it.
I have a couple of duck updates for you guys.
Duck
This is
updates.
Breaking
Quack, quack.
news. We might want to go back to AITA Pod Studios, aka my place, because took a little walk in the park with my friend Michelle, who is actually the famous friend who was like super excited to go to donuts, ice cream, hot dogs, cigarettes.
Sure.
She thought it was going to be like a nice place. And then she
What?
was like, oh, this is just like a place that sells donuts, ice cream, hot dogs, cigarettes. And I was like, yes, I
Yeah.
don't feel that I misrepresented it.
Do you think it was a speakeasy?
Yeah, she's like, I thought we were gonna have a nice little brunch there. I'm like, what? There's not like servers.
They have cigarettes in
It's
the
not
name.
donuts, ice cream, hot dogs, cigarettes, table service. What are you? Anyway, we were walking around Echo Park, and guys, it is spring. What do we call
Oh,
this?
it's spring.
Spring.
It's
Yes.
spring. Saw some ducklings, and the gauze are back.
No.
All over in
So
various states of growth. You
cute.
got the yellow gauze when they're brand new, and then they turn gray, and you start to see, oh, you're turning into a Canadian goose, you son of a gun.
Oh, wait, gauze? What do you call
I call them the
them?
gauze because they're goslings.
Oh, is that what
It's
they are
kind of my-
called?
well, no, it's just kind of a fun
Baby geese
Baby-
are
Baby
goslings.
geese are
goslings.
goslings?
I call them the gauze.
Oh.
But it was weird. We were I took a little snow trip with the boys, did a little spring skiing up in Mammoth, going out through all the restaurants, and one of the top rated restaurants had a duck burrito. So I was eating the duck. And guys, I've never had a duck burrito before. Have you ever heard of such a thing?
no, it sounds gross though.
It was incredible.
Oh, incredible.
Inquackable. Wow, we really walked for that. I was like, everyone, this is inquackable. And,
You've heard of impossible meat. Now try inquackable meat.
Yeah. It
It's
was-
just duck.
so we all loved it. So it's our new tradition for our Mammoth trips to eat the ducks.
Okay, I'm not
kinda
a big
brutal.
fan of duck.
I've never really, I've had it maybe 2 or 3 times my entire life.
It can be super gamey and like greasy, but when
Yeah.
it's done right. And by the
Like,
way, I'm
it's a-
vegetarian at home, guys. I'm vegetarian at home.
Oh,
so I'm
you've
like-
never,
too,
you've
me
never mentioned
too.
that. You've never mentioned that on the podcast
Okay.
before.
Oh.
That's new information to me.
It's always weird when Jake gets sarcastic. 'Cause It's not in his normal.
I have noticed when I go sarcastic with people, they do believe me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know.
so,
I didn't know for a
You
second.
always get me.
Guys, thank you so much for listening. We love the submissions. We're going to cover a couple now. Got a great little letter talking about the smartness hierarchy, something we discussed. Love this letter. Here we go. I teach public school in the south side of Chicago. Of 302 students in K through 8, 94% are 2+ grade levels behind, but most are 3+ behind.
Oh, wow.
These are the kids that society labels as, quote, dumb, stupid, unintelligent. I have real grief with these labels because it serves to further disenfranchise them and keep our schools from getting resources. The approach I prefer values human beings universally based on their intrinsic worth, and I think it's a much more productive and healthy way to approach life because it supports the investment in all communities regardless of the current outcome or the current abilities of each individual. If more people thought like you, we would see our school systems be invested in an equitable way regardless of the people which come out of the school system itself. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought
information.
that was nice to hear. Very validating, and we had a great discussion in the Discord as well, Shannon and I. So yeah, it's just really great to be part of this community. A couple people did reach out saying like, "No, Danny, people are smarter than other people," and I was like, "Okay, that's fine. If you need that, have it. I'm not gonna argue with you."
It's a weird thing I think it's just such a weird thing to get hung up on. I'm like, I understand advocating for, hey, let's re-examine how we look at this because that seems to be an important conversation.
Yeah.
But defending it inherently just seems like a waste of time. Like, what? Maybe have a conversation about how can we look at this different because it's obvious that it's not working, especially in the education system.
Right, and Shannon agreed with me on this on the Discord, which I was excited about. You know, I think what we were splitting hairs on something really, but that interpersonally, this is just not a valuable way to look at the people around you in your life. It's
Right.
like why bother? You know?
Yeah, I mean, I was agreeing with everything you were saying. I still think we were just debating about different things.
Yeah. Well, Anyway, it was a great discussion. So I hope you guys can join us on Discord and the Patreon. We love to see it. Here is a little sub mini, quite a strange one. AITA for saying I don't want my boyfriend to have sex with other women. I rather like your odds. Last night, my boyfriend invited his friend over, Stacy. He said she wasn't anything more than a friend, but after an hour of her being here, they were making plans to meet up during the weekend to have sex right in front of me. When I try to bring up the topic of other girls, he just gets angry. Should I stay or leave? And am I the asshole for saying something?
Now, this in the sales biz is what we call a hard pitch. This is basically just saying take it or leave it. It's happening.
Yeah.
Right.
I think he's in an open relationship and you're not.
That's
which as they call it in Europe, infidelity.
Right. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is or like, are you actually this guy's girlfriend?
Ooh,
like,
good point.
Yeah, not to go too heavy with this, but just the fact that OP feels like she can't even say anything. OP, I think we're all pretty aligned. Get the fuck out.
Yeah, I know. You don't need this.
Really unhealthy. And the fact that he's getting angry about it, I mean, it sounds like maybe he just sees you more as like a friends with benefit or a booty call type of thing. Either way, even if you were friends with benefits, this is extremely disrespectful for someone that you're hooking up with to then talk to another woman about hooking up with her right in front of you. Like, even if you're not monogamous or exclusive, still very disrespectful to do to somebody.
Yeah.
So whether or not you are, this guy is extremely in the wrong. And yeah.
You deserve better, OP.
Deserve better.
Plain and simple.
This dude is either evil or dumb or both.
Yeah, and angry.
I think both.
The other psychopath triumph, like kind of like threesome of evil, dumb, and angry. AITA, this is another submish. AITA for reporting exam room talk. I have a full-time job in corporate America and my husband is self-employed. I carry the insurance for both of us and we enjoy great health bennies. This past year, my hubby took advantage of his first prostate exam, which took place in a mobile screening bus in the parking lot of my corporate office. He was texting me while he was waiting and mentioned it was a packed room and all the men present were clearly from the office, as they were all in business attire, wearing badges and chatting. He told me they were cracking jokes amongst themselves, some of which I found to be highly inappropriate, such as when a man came out of the exam room and another man said, "This is his third visit this week." The company recently issued an anonymous survey to gather feedback about our benefits, and I left a comment recapping the scenario. I work in IT, and I can guarantee that the surveys are truly anonymous. I later shared this with my husband, and he was shook. He said I was being a Karen, and the men were just trying to make light of an awkward, uncomfortable sitch. I found the joke to be inappropriately sexual and borderline homophobic. AITA for reporting exam room talk.
I'm missing a bit of context on this one. I think there's a lot of context that can be filled in here. We were talking about it in our prep meeting. I just want to confirm. Was this on company property or this was at...
Ooh,
because that's the biggest thing to me. If this...
Yes, in the parking lot of the corporate office.
So that would likely be their property. Yeah, that's
so there is an argument to be made that kind of conversation, you don't need to be doing that at the place of business where other people are working.
With your coworkers, it seems like, or their spouses.
Right. This seems to be really everybody's in on the joke. No, that's the other context. Was anybody being left out of this? Was it mean? Was it mean spirited in any way? I do have a big pushback on OP here. I don't think this is homophobic.
I don't know.
It could be.
I kind of do think it is. Like, I think a lot of heterosexual men have a really big issue with, we've talked about this on the pod before, like getting any sort of ass play, because I really do think it is in society that it's a homosexual activity and that they don't want to go there because that'll make them a little gay. And whether they consciously or subconsciously know this, I think that that's what it is.
If you made that joke about a gay man, then I would be like, all right, that's not okay.
Oh, absolutely.
But it doesn't sound like that's the case. And I am with Jake that ultimately, it seems like a lighthearted joke. I would laugh at that. I mean, it's, it's just implying that they like getting their their butt touched, which a lot of men do.
I guess, but I think if like a gay man was in the room and everyone else was straight, like I would, like, I think he could like have a feeling about
and that's
that.
And I agree with you on that. Totally fair. Good point. I think that's where context is still missing for me here, because if this, and I guess I'm applying it to, I have a lot of friends who would make these kind of jokes, but it wouldn't be about it being gay. It would be about what Danny's saying of just like, who doesn't like having
liked it a lot. Yeah,
that's a fine thing to enjoy.
Yeah, but like sodomy, I don't know if that's the right term, right?
That's the biblical word for it being a
that's
sin.
what they like calling it when
sin, right?
when they outlawed in the South, they call it sodomy.
Yeah, so butt play, I'll just call it that.
Which is a lot more fun to say.
Yeah.
Is definitely like more people think of it as gay, I think.
Listen, I can back you, Shannon, in terms of, do I think this is a smart joke to make?
Right.
Because you could offend someone. You know, I think a lot of gay men would be very fine with this because we all know that butt stuff feels good, but I could definitely see it playing poorly. I think my issue with OP is that, you know, in a court of law, this was hearsay.
Yeah.
She did not witness this.
That's what's not.
She was not a member there. If she had seen someone get upset, or if she had been there and known that, like, you know, Gary in accounting is gay or whatever, I would be a little, but she did not witness this. She reported what her husband told her in confidence. This would not be admissible in court.
Yeah, without like even running it by him, like, hey, would you be okay? And it sounds like her husband wasn't even complaining about it. He was just sharing.
Yeah, it was just a funny thing. Yeah, you're getting your butt touched in the corporate parking lot. Like, it's kind of humiliating.
Yeah, I guess it's sort of like if you
in a
if
bus.
You switch it.
Can we talk about in a bus also?
Butt bus.
It's the butt bus.
Because if you think of it in terms of, say, I'm sure men do this in waiting rooms when they're getting their sperm tested, because it's awkward. You go into the room and you guys all know you're jerking off in there. Yeah, and so when you guys come out, like, I'm sure, and they're probably, some of them are probably friends. So they're just trying, I understand that, like, just trying to make lighthearted of like a weird situation, make light of a weird situation.
I definitely agree with everything you said to the counter there, Shannon. I think for me it is, I just can't go super hard one way or the other without the context, because I think this could be healthy masculinity. That seems like a slim chance. I don't think that there's a ton of dudes out there who would talk about this in a healthy way. I agree with you on that for sure, but they do exist. I know, because I know a lot of them, and it's in this, I think the acceptance of, hey, there's nothing wrong with this. We just fucking talked about the guy who wouldn't wipe his own butt because he was worried it would make him gay.
Right.
So that is something to factor in here. I guess I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt of, like, let's hope this was healthy masculinity. There was no, it wasn't about being gay. It was about, like, who doesn't like having their butt touched. That's a nice sensation. So, maybe
a
I'm
lot of women don't, I've found.
Oh, really?
The butt stuff doesn't do much for a lot of ladies.
It's that prostate. It's that go button up there.
You guys have a G spot up there, don't you?
Yeah, the prostate.
Yeah.
My prostate's swelling now, so I think I don't know if that's how it works. But yeah, ultimately though, when I think about what OP did, it doesn't sound like she reported an individual. It sounds like she reported that this could have been a toxic environment for someone.
Which very well could have.
And what could this possibly lead to? But like a little HR meeting, like, hey guys, just maybe don't crack jokes like that. So honestly, I just don't really see the effects of what she did being very bad at all. So for these reasons, I'm actually saying AITA for reporting exam room talk, playing it as it lays. I'm going no assholes here.
That feels right.
Yeah.
With the information we have, I think that's square.
I don't think she's in the wrong, and I think there is a risk of this potentially hurting somebody, and if she's helping that not happen in the future, then I don't think she's the asshole for it.
Yeah, and it's honestly a pretty funny bit to make your husband take a annoying HR class. Got him.
Wait, he wouldn't be involved. He's not in the company. He's self-employed.
That is
yeah,
that is very funny to think about. Like, howdy do, everybody. I'm Claire's partner. Don't mind me, just saddling up to the butt butts.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so weird. So then who? I guess the people who actually work at the company might have to do that. All right, well, whatever. Guys, thank you so much for listening.
Well, the husband wasn't the one that was saying the joke.
Somebody else said it.
So the people who were the offenders are the ones that have to do HR.
Guys, thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it. Please join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. The Discord is a lot of fun. We've got tons of bonus eps, and guys, my calendar is insane with call-in eps. So you could do your own call-in app, be on the pod, and, I will see you on Tuesday night, baby. Join us on Patreon. All right, we've got one heck of a juicy app for you today. Our second story of the day, AITA for not wanting to pay for my coworker's baby shower party. But first, folks, it's AITA for snapping at my brother-in-law and threatening to never let him see my kids after he told my son to be the quote-unquote man of the house. My husband, Dan, grew up in a single-parent household. His dad died when he was young. His older brother, Martin, was definitely parentified and became the quote-unquote man of the house. Together, Dan and I have 3 kids, Sydney, 12F, Gabe, 10M, and Charlotte, 3F. Unfortunately, Dan passed away 3 months ago. It's been a terrible struggle trying to balance my grief and my children's on top of the rest of the responsibilities. I have a great support system, so I have been cognizant to make sure my babies still have a childhood. I always said I wouldn't do what my mother-in-law did. Recently, though, I've been having a tough time. Charlotte was sick. Sydney is in about 1 million activities, and the housework, it's piling up. Martin's wife, Rachel, offered to come by and help me out. She generously cleaned the house and looked after Charlotte while I ran Sydney to her activities. Sydney is like in every fucking club, apparently.
Million activities she's in.
Chess, followed by lacrosse, followed by engineering. When I arrived back home, I found Martin and Gabe in the kitchen. Martin was telling him that it shouldn't have gotten to this stressful point and he should be helping me more. He told him that he was the man of the house and it was up to him to step up. I cut in and told Gabe to not listen to his uncle, that he's a little boy and it's not his job to take over for his father. Rather, it's his job to play, go to school, and be a kid. I sent him to play. I tore into Martin. I asked him how dare he say that to my son. I said he may have been parentified, but he will not do the same to my son. I said if he pulled crap like that again, he'd never see my kids again. Martin told me I was being ungrateful. He was only trying to help. He said more than anything, he was defending his wife as it's not her job to help me. I reminded him I never asked Rachel for help, she offered. Martin said she wouldn't have if I wasn't complaining about how hard my life is. Since, Dan's family has been telling me what a bitch I am. They say this is all Martin knows and I was way too harsh on him, especially threatening to cut him off. They told me I need to get my shit together. My mother-in-law especially thinks I need to suck it up and expect my kids, not just Gabe but Sydney too, to help me with Charlotte. I told her off and that only made it worse. My kids have chores and help around the house. The work in question was things that are out of their age bracket and are my responsibility. That's why I was falling behind, considering I also have to take care of the kids, drive them places, and do more things that are not age appropriate or their job. Everyone is accusing me of alienating Dan's family, which I'm not trying to do. AITA.
Well, I actually have a really close friend who is, his parents got a divorce when he was a teenager, and he's the oldest of 4. And he's very much become the second parent in the family.
Yeah.
He got put in between the parents fighting.
Yee.
And it was a really long divorce. It was 7 years or something.
Oh, wow.
Jesus.
Yeah, a lot of
you hear about a long
fighting.
marriage, but not a long divorce.
Just settlements and stuff.
Yeah, just ongoing.
Yeah, and so he had to step up and block the younger ones from hearing a lot about this, and it's affected who he is and his relationship with his younger siblings. He likes the position he's in, but he has a relationship with them where he's kind of their brother, kind of their parent. It's a little bit different, and I just think it's kind of unfair, the position that they've put him in. And he did have to grow up. He was 14 or 15 at the time, and he had to grow up way faster, and he has a lot of trauma and resentment and still has to deal with stuff to this day.
Yeah.
And so I totally am I can see, and she's had to see this happen with Martin.
Well, I think we're all aligned that parentification is a bad thing.
Yeah.
What gets me on this one, this is generational trauma in motion. We're seeing it happen in real time where Martin, the uncle, is not talking to a 10-year-old boy. He's talking to his brother. He's disassociating death and putting it on this kid. And this isn't the first time I've seen this happen in my divorces, deaths, any kind of family split, for lack of a better term. You know, I think they're projecting on OP here, where they're saying, oh, you're trying to alienate our family. It's like, no, you're trying to alienate me. You're trying to push me to the outside of the circle on this, and you're trying to loop my kids into how you handled this tragedy. And what I'm seeing from the mother-in-law here of like, the kids need to suck it up and help. It's like, you guys need to deal with what you felt during that death, and the death of the kid's grandfather.
Right. Right.
And I think the cycle is repeating here. And I can't imagine the emotional strain that family is under, of losing the father all those years ago and now losing the little brother. That's heart-wrenching. But to place that on a child, a 10-year-old, it's just toxic masculinity in full effect.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I think, you know, OP is kind of aware of what this is made of.
Yep.
And I think we all agree it's a bad thing. That said, I do think OP reacted really harshly and really hugely to this. And I do believe that, you know, one thing my dad has said, like, don't drop psychobabble in a conflict. It's just not productive. Keep it concrete. And this is a form of that. Oh, you're just playing out trauma.
Yeah.
You know, and I think and I understand, by the way, and I like Jake, how you explored that, because, you know, obviously this is in the water in the family. And that's probably something that OP is upset by and has been upset by for some time. And I understand it can be hard to distance yourself. Plus, OP is very stressed. But I think they really hit like a scorpion when they could have just been like, "Oh, hey, no, what your uncle said. We'll talk about it later. But go ahead and go play for now. We'll figure it out later." And then could have just offered to like, "Oh, hey, you know, just I don't really talk to my kids that way with the whole like man of the house thing. So I just appreciate if you didn't use that kind of rhetoric with them."
Yeah,
I think Uncle's breaking one of my cardinal rules with children, which is no matter how they're behaving, no matter what they're doing, I'm never going to do the parenting for the parent. That is an express ticket to Beef City. With any parent, it doesn't matter how the kid's behaving, it doesn't matter matter what the context is. The second you step in and you start telling a kid how they need to be acting, and the parent hears it, they see red.
True.
Well,
That's
I think
good.
I told
That's
that
a
story
good
at the
argument.
live show when I said that the kid was a tattletale. No one likes a tattletale. And the parents got so mad at me, and the kid started crying, and I was just like, oh. I mean, I'd been hanging out with them a little bit too long, and I was getting frustrated. I let that out, but yeah, it did not go well at all.
So I think you just stepped on you stepped on a proverbial landmine with this, and I'm not saying it's okay, because you're right, it was very harsh. It was like an unnecessary reaction to the situation, but it's an expected one to me whenever you try to step in and do the parenting.
Well, but I still think she went a little nuclear.
It was a big line cross, but I think to go even farther, OP also pointed the gun at the relationship, which is really aggressive. You know, that to come off one strike and then say like, what did OP say? That, you know, if he pulled crap like that again, he'd never see my kids again.
That's way too. You need to be strengthening the family right now. My biggest thing for the uncle, to be honest with you, to be honest with everybody, is I'm seeing somebody who needs to be like, the uncle needs to step up again. So guess what, man? Like, you are the adult now. You are the closest thing to a father this kid has, and to be approaching him in this time with criticism and be a man, kid. That's not what your job is right now. Your job is like, hey, you want to go ride bikes? Your job is to create a safe, loving environment where he knows he has a man he can trust and talk to about things. He's heading into puberty. He's not going to feel comfortable talking about that with his mom. And now he's not going to feel comfortable talking about it with the new taskmaster that's telling him how he needs to march.
Yeah. And I definitely can see your point about like mama bear coming out. Like, I can see that too, of just like, she just feels like she needs to defend her child. Like, I could see like seeing red in this moment.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not a parent. None of us are, but I could totally understand that.
Chop 1125 writes, we'll come back to you, Shannon. My father-in-law always asks, will it change tomorrow? And he means, quote, will worrying about something and fixing it right away change your world tomorrow? Take a breath. You're doing fine considering the circumstances, OP. Sounds like you got clean clothes on your kids, clean dishes to eat off, clean bedrooms, and your house is reasonably clean. It sounds like you're worrying about housework that needs to be done every so often. Getting that housework done won't change tomorrow. Taking care of your needs, your grief, your children's needs, and your children's grief all will change tomorrow. Worry about that.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
Okay.
Was that she's grieving.
She's grieving.
It's only 3 months, guys. Like, come on, give her a little bit of a pass here. She just lost her life partner. I understand that you lost your brother and your brother-in-law, etc. But I feel like it's not the same as losing your family.
And
like,
that's where I think that this family is sort of the dad's side of the family, the deceased. They are falling into their protective mode because they're going through it again. So they're all caving in around the behavior that got them through it the first time, and they're just reliving the cycle. And I don't think it's a smart way to handle this. And they're reacting to it with this callous indifference to the feelings of everybody that are involved in this, and it's survival mode. It's like, no, you must survive. You must contribute. The only way through this is hard work and ignoring the pain that you're feeling. That's what I'm getting, especially from the mother-in-law.
It's definitely there. I think what's tough here is like, was this a slip up and a boundary cross? Sorry, it was a boundary cross. Was it a slip up, or is that just how this uncle is going to roll? Because, he's also grieving. Yeah. Everyone here is going through something really hard. So
true. And the mother-in-law lost her son. Like, you're usually like not going to be, you usually are expecting your parents to pass away eventually.
And that was the brother, right? So the person who said this was the brother-in-law, brother of the deceased.
Mother-in-law, mother of the deceased.
Suck it up.
Yeah.
And
she also had words.
So the guy who did this was the brother of the deceased. Am I right?
Yeah.
He was the one that
I am ready to give a griever pass here to everybody.
Yeah.
It's fucking hard.
Yeah.
It's horrifying.
Yeah.
He overstepped and OP struck back. I think you nailed that, Shannon. She saw red.
And I want to clarify too, I'm not saying it's okay for parents to just see red and go off on people. I'm just saying it's an expected outcome.
3 months after your husband died, I mean, it really doesn't get too much worse.
And she's in the thick of it right now. And that's actually what pisses me off about what Martin said, where it's like, well, I'm defending my wife and she wouldn't have come to offer to help if you weren't complaining about how hard your life is.
No, totally. And what he said is unacceptable and shitty, but I think he was also like, he just had the gun pointed at him.
I do have a ding there where it's just a pet peeve of mine, using your partner as an excuse for your behavior and saying, well, I'm just defending them. It's like, are you, or are you just dealing with your shit and you're misappropriating?
No, what he said was totally shitty, but I think like he was just told like, fuck up again and you'll never see your brother's kids again.
That's my biggest hang up on OP's side.
That's so true, because I'm just thinking about like if my sister had kids and her partner like said something to me, I'd be pissed. I'm like, those are my blood too. Like, what the hell? And it's the only connection to my sister now.
Yeah.
The others, I think that this is kind of not that, we kind of say therapy is a solution for everything on this show occasionally, but this would be a family therapy situation. I think that everybody could go as a group to this kind of thing, and it would do some good.
That would be great.
I have a feeling they're not gonna, but it'd be something that they should consider.
I think my one takeaway on this, and I totally giving OP the pass, but like don't we're talking about the smartness hierarchy, and don't, even though it may be the case, I am kind of thinking that right now it's not a time to pathologize people and label them like you're just a trauma-driven parentifier, like go easy on them as well, OP. I think there's really nothing productive about labeling people like that. If they cross the line again, then, if people tell you they are, listen.
Right.
But I think this is a really tough situation. And for these reasons, I think we're aligned. AITA for snapping at my brother-in-law and threatening to never let him see my kids after he told my son to be the man of the house. I think we're giving a griever pass to everyone and calling it no assholes here.
No assholes here. Yeah. Tough. But
it's one of those ones where it's like, this is a really shitty situation and people are bound to act shitty.
Totally. Right. And I think they could get through it though.
I hope. Guys, please rate, review, subscribe. Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. Join me in my stand-up tour and join us in Phoenix, baby.
And follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Yes. People are watching the YouTubes more now, guys. It's exciting. The full eps.
All right.
Here is Jacques David. Or Jake, rather.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing this as Jock. AITA for not wanting to pay for my coworker's baby shower party. I, male, 29, work in a office building. I've been working here for around 3 years. One of my coworkers, female, 35, is pregnant with her first baby. It was a wanted baby, and her husband and her had to go to a fertility clinic to get pregnant. Really wanted baby. I know this because she told me and other coworkers these kind of things. I congratulated her when she announced her pregnancy and such. I don't have a problem with her at all. Now, she's around 7 months pregnant. Her maternity leave will start soon, so our coworkers want to throw a small party for her in the office. They don't want to plan anything fancy, just a small baby shower during our lunch break. These two coworkers who are planning the party came up to me yesterday and asked me to contribute with money, $200.
Oh my God.
To the party. They said they will get some cupcakes, cake, soda, and that kind of stuff. I told them I won't give them the money for this. If they want to plan this, it's okay, but I couldn't care less about the pregnancy, and I won't spend my money on this. They argued that the pregnant coworker will be happy for the party, and that helping will make me a good coworker. I said I don't care about their impressions of me. They called me a selfish asshole and left. My girlfriend then told me I was wrong for this because it's only a couple $100, so it's not that hard to help out. Am I really an asshole?
I mean, what the heck? $200?
Scam.
And is everyone contributing $200?
This is a scam.
Like, I'm sorry, cake, cupcakes, soda, and quote unquote that kind of stuff. So I'm guessing like streamers, obviously paper plates, plastic forks, etc. How is that all $200?
$150 total if this is like an office of 40 people.
And why is this guy paying for it all?
Are they asking multiple people in the office to contribute that? And look, you know what? Party planning ding, cupcakes and cake.
Yeah, you don't need both.
You fucking mongrels.
And also, let's get a little savory something in the mix.
You gotta get some salty chips, get some chips and dip, something, cakes and cupcakes.
Hopefully that's what's under the that kind of stuff category.
I think that kind of stuff better be cocaine, and this is gonna be the rippinest baby shower. What the fuck? $200? How many people work here?
I am shook by this.
I have a conspiracy theory.
Oh boy.
Here we go.
Well, it's such a ridiculous ask.
Yes.
Unless they're the boss or the CEO.
Well, that's what I was thinking, but he says one of my coworkers. He would have said one of my employees.
Yes, unless he's a picture painter.
If it's the boss
if
it's the boss or the CEO, I'm even less inclined to kick in money for this. You should be funding your own baby shower party, and you better be bringing more than cake and cupcakes, baby.
Yeah,
wait, hold on. I think you're misunderstanding. I'm saying that OP, the person being asked, and they're picture painting by calling everybody a coworker because technically they are coworkers instead of saying my employee or whatever.
Okay.
Oh no, that is what I thought you meant, but I still don't think like why would the boss, why would they go up to the boss and be like, here boss, $200?
Playing into Danny's theory. Playing into Danny's theory.
Well, but that's the only way that makes sense to me. Why would you go up to a random coworker and ask them for $200? That's just
because a lot of times with party planning, they do pitch in money. Like, do you ever watch The Office? Like they always go around and they're like, can you pitch in money for this?
But it's so obscene to ask that per person, right?
If he is a picture painter, he is a picture painter. What if they were asking him to allot budget to the party?
Exactly.
That's a walk.
Exactly.
That's a walk.
I don't know how much of a walk it is. It's not playing it as it lays.
That's literally the only way that this makes any sense.
I would think that they would go to accounting and ask.
No, you would have to. That has to be approved by management. But let's playing it as it lays. This is like just so ridiculous that you would go up to a coworker and ask them for this amount of money.
Do we know if the two people who asked for the money are in trouble with a loan shark?
Yeah,
did they run afoul in a gambling den?
I want to know, like. We need more details.
I tried to get. It looks like the account was deleted. The user who posted this, so we can't. any more info.
I did some comment diving. Everybody's pretty much saying the same thing we are. Critical Fall 6323 says NTA, unless they are amazing, life-changing cupcakes, $200 is insane. That amount would if that amount would cover it all. And then Summa Camus with the closest thing to a dissenting opinion. So officially, NTA, you have no obligation to pay anything. Your finances are your own and no one else is going to manage them. That said, I wouldn't have said what you said, LOL. That was pretty brazenly dickish, and to call you an asshole in that moment seems appropriate with respect to your comments. In the future, you can just say that you don't have the cash to throw down. And it is kind of wildly overboard to raise the stakes to, I don't give a heck about that pregnancy.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn how you perceive me. That's where it's like, dude, just say no.
Well,
it's
and
cool.
That's also why I don't think it's the boss. Because you really think a boss would say that about his employee?
Yeah.
I do think that, and that is the only thing that kind of makes me kind of align with what Tanny's saying.
I think normal.
I've met absolutely.
We do agree though. If this was the boss or CEO,
huge
they're an
asshole.
asshole. Okay, great.
Monolithic asshole. Hang the jersey in the rafters.
But if we're painting it or playing it as it's lays,
the jersey, the rafters.
This is insanity, and I just need to know more info. Well, actually, I don't need to know more info to have a verdict, but I am just curious.
What are
is
you
everyone?
out?
Is there only 3 of the coworkers, or there's only 4 of them?
Just the 3 of them,
and they're all throwing in $200, and it's an $800 party, and they're getting catering and shit.
That's the only reason I'm going to Conspiracy Town, because I'm like, the numbers here just don't add up. Nonetheless,
it's are you trying to get the In-N-Out truck to come through the parking lot?
Oh,
that would be sick. But that puppy's it's like $5,000 an hour for that sucker.
Right.
That's like, you're not even close to paying that off here.
$5,000 an hour.
It's wild. It's so. I was when I was putting a party together last year, I thought In-N-Out truck. That'd be nope, never. That's just
That's included all the food.
It's no fries because they don't do fryers on the truck. So it's all burgers. I'm actually animal style fries at In-N-Out. I love them, but like normal fries at In-N-Out are like, that's not what I come to In-N-Out for. It's way down the
but
list.
if I'm gonna have a burger, I need
the fries.
All right, let's get out of In-N-Out. AITA for not wanting to pay for my coworker's baby shower, playing it as it lays. We do agree. It's NTA.
It's NTA with the info parenthetical on the tail end. Something's missing.
Exactly. If someone's acting that crazy. Guys, please rate, review, and subscribe. Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. Check out our YouTube and our Instagram. Shannon's killing it on that. All right. We're going to wrap things up here on AITA for refusing to grab whatever my wife forgets in the car. My wife can be a little forgetful in general, but she has a habit of sending me to the car to grab something that she forgets pretty much every time we go somewhere. Now, it's usually her purse, but it's been other items as well. This happens like 99% of the time. So on Saturday, we went out to eat and she left her purse in the car. I went and got it. When we got home, she forgot it in the car again. At this point, I refuse to do it anymore, and I've stuck to it since. Yesterday, we went to her family for dinner, which she forgot it in the car again, and I refused again. She got a bit huffy, but went out and got it. By the end of the night, her and her sister were laying into me about it not being a big deal and how I should be willing to grab something she forgot. I don't disagree if it was occasionally, but I'm tired of doing it every time. AITA, or does she need to start remembering?
I mean, why in the hell is this your responsibility?
Finally, a woman child. We've had thousands of man children.
Like, hello, you have legs, right? Go out and grab it yourself.
We've covered situations similar to this before. But this is particularly interesting because you know where it is. You haven't lost it. It doesn't need to be found for you.
Right.
You're punishing other people for your incapacity.
For your forgetfulness.
Oh my God.
I mean, this isn't as bad as the guy whose wife had like a bag with his ID and everything. Backup of everything.
Pathetic.
He was leaving it at home. That's an even bigger crime.
But like, this is your responsibility, like, to go back out. I can't even imagine asking someone else, like, oh yeah, can you go and grab that?
Yeah, I mean, it's like definitely something like, oh, you're seeing your family, you haven't seen them in a while, and you're the auxiliary husband there. As a oneer, I'd be happy to do it, but as a recurring thing, it's like, well, why? Why would I be the one?
Why can't you go?
That's kind of an extenuating circumstance thing, not a default thing.
I also don't think there's anything more dehumanize. Well, obviously, there's lots of things more dehumanizing, but like in terms of
I
trivial,
love nuanced Jake.
in terms of trivial stuff, nothing makes me feel like a sillier man than when my wallet or keys or whatever falls in the crevice between the driver's seat and the armrest.
Nightmare!
I got a thing for that.
Oh, the little like blocker thing.
Yeah, I met this guy. I was working an event, and he was the inventor of this thing that goes in.
I've seen that advertised.
Yeah.
And he was
Brilliant.
on Shark Tank, and he was like, "Give me your address, I'll send you a couple."
Wow, look at
and it's
you.
amazing.
But we don't know the name of it. It's a hard thing to know.
Can't advertise
I
it.
can't remember the name.
Send us.
They have to pay us.
Yeah, send us a
to-
sponsorship deal. We'll say its name. But to have to do that for somebody else would be so inferior. Because when it's my wallet, I'm just like, I
the
look
between
so
the crevice.
ridiculous right now.
yeah.
I'm on my knees on the driver's
Right.
seat. I'm playing a little claw game with my
Right.
pinching fingers.
Oh, it's the worst.
It's awful. So yeah, oh God, this would get so frustrating. I don't think anything would start a fight with Jackie faster than if I was like, hey babe, silly goose forgot his wallet in his car. Can you run down to the curb and
Crazy.
get it for
Yeah.
me, please? Thank you.
I feel like a lot of times, like, there are situations where I feel like women do have the men in their life like being their little lackey. And I do feel like, which, hey, more power to you if you can get a man to be like that. But like, if the roles were reversed with this, we would be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why
It's
is the woman have to go do it?
It's princess energy.
Yes, I actually, I know somebody who definitely, she has her boyfriend wrapped around her finger like that. And I'm just like, I can't even.
Is she
imagine.
a passenger
exhausting.
princess? I've heard about those couples where the woman just refuses to drive
Yes,
ever to
definitely.
anything.
I would
I can
say.
live with that.
I think that's so backwards, and like women had to fight so hard just to be allowed to drive.
Yeah.
Like I just don't. Passenger princess culture is terrible.
Self-imposed Saudi Arabia rules. Okay, babe. Formula ZR writes, NTA, maybe her going to the car when she forgets things will help jog her memory. Someone replied that this is how they got their 8-year-old to remember to turn the lights off. I mean, it's really childish if you're looking at it that way. But every time, Final Figure 7150 writes, hell no, that shit pisses me off. Similar
So
to people.
cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, right. Similar to people who don't take a bag on a night out, but then ask you if you could carry their stuff. Before you know it, your purse is filled with everyone's cards and lipsticks and whatever else. Hard pass. We're adults. Carry your own things. I'm not a donkey.
That
Okay,
goes
I
double
added
for
that.
shoes. That was something that always
Shoes.
got under my skin when I was bouncing. Women will, come out and like, not just, I mean, people wearing high heels. They'll
yeah.
come out to show up and they get all the pictures in or whatever, and then the shoes immediately come off and they expect somebody to hold them for. People would ask us to like check in at the door, and it's just like, or at, with like a coat check, and it's just like, no, you made choices tonight,
Right,
So
right.
you can either hold on to your own shoes and walk the streets of Culver City barefoot, or you can stick with the choice you made.
Yeah. Yeah, she's not really like having to learn this lesson at all.
Exactly.
So she's not gonna grow from her mistakes.
Right.
Because she's just like, oh, well, if I do it, who cares? My husband will go get it.
I think our brancher too nailed this. NTA, if it's so frequent that you say it's every time, it's a power move. It's most likely subconscious, but with the way her and her sister reacted, it might not be subconscious because they seem to overreact to the situation.
I know.
This does feel like a little flex. Like this feels like the girlfriend who's trying to be like, oh, he's right around my finger. And then he's like, no, I'm not doing that. Oh, well, don't break my facade here.
I'm in control of my life.
Yeah.
I'm in control of all of this.
I think you're nailing
Yeah.
that too. It's a control thing. Like if you feel out of control in other aspects of your life, you over control your partner,
Yeah.
Got nothing, got no defense.
There's
here.
nothing I
You're
can
acting
think
like
of
a
that
child.
makes this cool.
No, there's no defense.
unless she unless they live in a no elevator building and she can't use her legs for whatever reason.
Right.
That's the only thing I can think of, and I feel like it would have come up.
Like sometimes you do a kindness that isn't something you would normally do, but like to do it over and over, it's a power play. AITA for refusing to grab whatever my wife forgets in the car. I think we agree wholeheartedly. NTA, and she is.
NTA, and she is a big
NTA,
old
she is.
YTA.
And y'all, I love it when these come up because sometimes this is a joke, but this is a situation that I think it's a great opportunity to call the fine people at 1-800-SPIDERS.
boy.
That's right. 1-800-SPIDERS. We won't just fill up your house or apartment. We'll also fill up your vehicle for the nominal fee of $5,000.
Wow, that's 1-800-SPIDERS is a luxury product.
$5,000. You could do that, or you could get an In-N-Out truck.
There we go, guys.
You're going to want to go with the Spiders. That's going to solve your problem. The In-N-Out truck, that's just
Get
for an
out of
hour.
here selling 1-800.
All right.
Are they harmless spiders or?
Oh, no, they're real venomous. They're bad ones. They're the ones that make you sick.
Guys, thank you so much for listening. Much love, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Roughly 8,000 spiders. You can get them all for $5,000. 1-800-SPIDERS.
Don't go to that website.
Don't try to buy it. I haven't bought the website yet. I need to buy it.